Now, away from today's installment of Government's Accountability Series, this is News Today. I am MFA Akosia Adetiwe, coming to you live from our studios here in Kokomlemle, Accra. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. Now, this afternoon, government goes heavy on road construction, budgeting nearly 14 billion cedis for the Big Push initiative, which targets over 40 roads across all 16 regions.
From the launch of this big push here, the whole of Ghana is going to become a construction site. The whole of Ghana is going to become a construction site. So bear with the contractors.
But where will the funding come from? We have details plus analysis, as Joy News research shows over 42% of this year's total capital expenditure will come from the Big Push. We'll also tell you how Accra workers are losing up to 2 extra hours daily to commuting. We'll also bring you how President Mahama wants that democracy without jobs, schools and hospitals will also be at risk, as he stresses the need to strengthen institutions such as the court, parliament and electoral bodies. More as he calls for protection of the media, stressing that a free press is democracy's immune system. We've got these plus more in the next 60 minutes package. Join us, independent, fearless and credible. Please stay for details. Welcome back to the news today. First, the government of Ghana is set to go heavy on road construction with the rollout of the Big Push initiative, targeting more than 40 road projects across all 16 regions. The price tag, nearly 14 billion Ghana cedis, earmarked for this year alone, with additional funding expected next year. But it's not just the size of the projects that's raising eyebrows, it is the cost. We'll get into that after Maxwell Agbagba's wrap from the President John Mahama's sod-cutting ceremonies in the Greater Accra region and Volta region for commencement of the program on Tuesday.
The president started from Afienya, where he broke ground for the start of construction on the Afienya-Dodowa-Dawhenya road project. Residents there could not hold back their joy.
When it was first read in the budget, and then we heard there was going to be a sod-cutting, you have no idea how very happy the community was.
Now he come, we know that when he talk, he fulfills. So we are thankful for him that we are coming to do this work for us.
President Mahama emphasized that no project under the Big Push initiative would take more than 2 years to complete.
The Big Push projects have been allocated in such a way that no contractor will take 24 months to complete, because we haven't given any contractor too long a stretch that will take him too much time. We've broken it up into pieces so that every contractor can work quickly and then they join their portions together. From the launch of this Big Push here, the whole of Ghana is going to become a construction site.
The Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Abuja, directed contractors working under the Big Push initiative to secure insurance cover for their projects. He explained that the insurance will be used to fund repairs if shoddy work is detected.
Everybody who would take part in the Big Push would have to take a very good insurance cover against your project. If you fail, we shall cash the insurance to repair the roads.
Later, the president cut sod for the redevelopment of the Timpoku-Isikuma in Rasi Ho-Denu Aflawu Road. The president further disclosed that beginning next year, other sectors will be brought under the Big Push initiative, including health, education, agriculture, agribusiness and sports. To ensure effective oversight, he also announced the establishment of a Big Push secretariat at the presidency, which will directly monitor all ongoing projects.
Well, a Joy News research analysis shows the Big Push initiative will consume over 42% of the government's total capital expenditure for 2025, So what exactly is the big push trying to fix, and where will all of that money come from? Of course, our lead data and research analyst here at Joy News, Isaac Afienya, has been doing some digging, something he loves to do and does better. Isaac, where are we getting this money from, and what really will it be fixing?
Well, in fact, with such a big project, you would possibly expect that there is some external funding for big push. But per what we are learning, there will be no external funding for big push. Everything will come from government's own pockets, and I'll be telling you where the money will be coming from. But in fact, when the president spoke yesterday, he gave this figure, which is that $1.5 billion, which is the infrastructure gap that we are facing as a country, and big push is expected to actually cover this. And what are we doing? Constructing roads, durable roads, and high quality. That is the status of big push, as you know, yesterday launched by the president. In fact, if you look at the number of road projects that will come under big push, we've been able to count about 45 plus road projects that big push will look at, and that's why it's called big push. But definitely we'll be asking some questions. But in terms of the breakdown of this, road projects, we understand that 32 of them are fairly new road projects that will be constructed. 13 are abandoned projects according to the finance minister's own account, and 4 will be road projects that are currently under various stages of completion or preparation. An example is the Kumasi Inner or the Orbiter, and then the Accra one as well. All will come under the big push program. But you asked a very important question about the funding, because the president says that big push will cost some $10 billion in terms of this whole project. But where will the money come from? That's the question we've been asking. This year alone, government is projecting to spend 13.9 billion, close to about 14 billion Ghana cedis on big push alone. And the president says that next year they are going to add some 30 billion Ghana cedis to that. In fact, so we should expect more inflows or more expenditure in terms of big push next year. And he says that if you're a contractor and we give you the road, don't worry about payments. We have what it takes to pay. Why? Because government has seen this, and this is the budgetary allocation for big push between 2025 and 2028. So you see it's going up each year. This year, 13.9 billion, 17.18 in 2026, 19.38. And before the president leaves office, is hoping to expend some 21.22 billion Ghana cedis on big push. But in terms of where this will come from, this is what we know so far as the budget is concerned. 35% of the big push money will come from mineral royalties. Very important.
Okay.
And about the biggest component, 65% will come from the ABFA, which is the annual budget fund, which usually comes from oil revenue. That is where we are going to get the money to look at big push. But the president yesterday made mention of 5 billion Ghana cedis set aside for road maintenance, pothole patching and all of that. Where would that come from? He
Just
said
5 billion set aside to patch roads that may have some
maintenance. Absolutely. That's even away from the big push money.
Okay.
That is special money just for road maintenance. And he says it's going to come from this part of funding. That is the road fund. We've been tracking how the road fund has been doing, and you can see over 1 billion Ghana cedis almost every fiscal year as far as what we are looking at is concerned. So big push indeed is big. The total amount of money needed is about 10 billion US dollars. The president says that everything will be, based on what we are seeing in the budget, will come from local sources. The ABFA and mineral royalties will be the source of funding for big push.
This is a good clarity, because then people were wondering, how do you budget for some other years when we don't know the source of funding? Thank you for bringing details of that. But Ghana is struggling. Transport system is choking lives and livelihoods. Every day, millions are stranded at bus stops, trapped in endless traffic, or squeezed into overcrowded trotros. Hours that could be spent at work with family or resting are instead wasted on the road or en route. In Accra, the average worker loses nearly 2 hours extra commuting daily. Collins From's report, read to you.
The country's broken transport system is quietly stealing hours, incomes, and even opportunities from people. Every weekday in Accra, thousands of workers wake up as early as 3 a.m., not out of choice, but out of fear. Fear of missing the commercial bus or trotro, of being trapped in traffic, and of arriving late to work. What should be a simple commute has become a daily battle against time.
Because from I used to live at Agape, from Agape to Kanda, and that one there was I think it's because of the road, so there was no vehicle coming, and they come one. So by the time I wake up 4:30, I'll get to Kanda around 8:30 or 9, very late, and my boss will be complaining. But when I moved to Pokwasi Ashalaja, when they started constructing the road, it has been the worst one. There are no car, and the drivers charge beyond now from. Amasaman to in Sound, they say they take 10 cities instead of 7 cities. So far, I've spent like 20 minutes here. Actually, I'm from Hacho, and I'm joining a Kakra, but I could notice that there's queue over there, and I cannot wait. So I had to take car from Hacho and come to Atomic here, thinking that I'll be able to go on time. But still, I come here, no car yet. They are passing by, but no car yet. And I could see that, in fact, sometimes when we are looking for car as passengers like that, in fact, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot, and we don't know what to do.
According to Oxford Global Health 2023, commuting swallows 2 extra hours from an ordinary working day. That means by the time a worker finishes a 9-to-5 job, their day has already stretched past 12 hours. When you add the road struggles, and that's in Accra alone.
The traffic delay, honestly, the traffic delays. And sometimes we see that even the traffic lights, I don't know whether it's not that some of them are 40 or whatever. The time you want to go, it will be there before the time will go, and then you continue your journey. Sometimes the traffic too, it delays us, honestly. It delays us, honestly. But the people, the drivers, they have to obey the traffic and all that. So we consider them too, but we don't know the way out because it's happening always. We don't know what to do.
Some people spend more time in traffic, more time queuing for unreliable transport, and less time resting or caring for their families. Nearly half of Accra's residents and 2/3 of workers in Kumasi cannot reach their offices within an hour using public transport. According to Down to Earth 2021, access to healthcare is no better. About a quarter of city residents don't have reliable transport to get to the hospital. In real terms, this means missed appointments, lost wages, and in some cases, lives put at risk.
Sometimes I have to leave the house like either 5 or 5:30 just to get here to get the car on time. Yeah, it does affect me, especially when I'm supposed to get to work before 7. Yeah.
And how is it affecting you, your daily activities?
It really stresses me out because I need to wake up on time.
And
last week, Thursday, I call Mekawena, Nema Mia Wasamai. Wasa, Tamana said you could do a time and I'm a Samai.
Now, President Mahama is urging African leaders to, among other things, protect media and civic space, describing a free press as democracy's immune system. Speaking at the 2025 Democracy Dialogues organized under the auspices of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, he emphasized the need to strengthen institutions such as the courts, parliament, and electoral bodies. He further cautioned that democracy without jobs, schools, and hospitals will always be at risk. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba joins us from the Accra International Conference Center. Maxwell, who else has been speaking and what can you report?
Very often, many young people in Africa
various speakers
don't have the
here
experience.
Have been raising concerns here about the possible potential erosion of democracy within the continent. In fact, President Mahama, in his speech, stated that during his inauguration, if we observed carefully, a lot of the leaders who were present there did not receive as much applause as those, who were from countries where we had experienced, coup d'etats in recent years. And he has been warning, together with other speakers here, that it is important for African leaders to strengthen institutions within their various countries to ensure that democracy thrives. He stated that democracy stands at risk, especially in countries where corruption is rife, especially when the people realize that they cannot achieve their fullest potentials. And it is important, for African leaders to make sure that they put in place strategies, mechanisms, and measures that will help, the people develop. And that is the point that he's been making here at the Accra International Conference Center. Later, we are billed to have Goodluck Jonathan himself, who is the founder of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation. He will be speaking shortly, sometime around 12:30 p.m., and that's going to be in a panel discussion. But right about now, the main speaker, the guest speaker, just finished speaking here at the Accra International Conference Center.
Right, Maxwell, thank you so much. Now, away from that, the National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Plan Committee has identified a lack of funding and collaboration between anti-corruption agencies as major gaps in the implementation of the just-ended National Anti-Corruption Plan program. This was revealed by Executive Director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Ada, as an ongoing stakeholder engagement to draft a new anti-graft instrument for the country. James Aveji has more.
Government launched the 10-year program National Anti-Corruption Action Plan, NACAP, which expired in 2024. The program was expected to address challenges of corruption across the country. Now, in July this year, the new government, through the Chief of Staff, launched the National Ethics Anti-Corruption Action Plan, NECAP, which is expected to draft another action plan which will run for 5 years between 2026 and 2030 to continue in that tangent.
It's been strongly argued that the bane of the fight against corruption are the gradual decline in our ethos, in our values, and in the systems that regulate our society through our socialization processes. From the evaluation that was done, sustainable funding, which was a big issue, to the lack of, or inadequate, if I say lack of, it's not right, inadequate coordination, which would have resulted in everybody taking on their own roles and working together very effectively.
You mean coordination between the anti-corruption agents?
All the agencies, including civil society and the media and citizens.
Now, this new committee has been working in this 2-month period and has come out with a draft of the action plan. And here at the Accra International Conference Center, the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, launched a stakeholder engagement which seeks to put this draft before other stakeholders to get their input on that. Now, in his statement, he underscored how corruption has become endemic, transition from the other institutions into educational system, and why the need to address it once and for all.
Recent events, including the exam mob practice as exposed by Joy FM, reminds us that ethical decay is not confined to our institutions only. It is creeping into our homes, our schools, and our future. That is why ethics must be central to the new plan, not just as a policy, but as a national culture. Let me be clear. This government is committed to founding this National Ethics and Anti-Corruption Action Plan, because founding ethics and anti-corruption is not a cost, it is an investment.
After all of the stakeholder engagement, a final National Ethics Anti-Corruption Action Plan would be initiated and will be spearheaded by the various anti-corruption agencies and CSOs, including the media, to cut down on corruption in the country and to also help improve Ghana's performance in corruption on the Corruption Perception Index put together by the Afrobarometer report yearly. From the Accra International Conference Center here in Accra, I am James Aveji for Joy News.
Now, barely 24 hours after yesterday's protest at the Tamale Technical University, the students have rejected the university's response, describing it as a failed attempt to resolve their grievances. The students of Tamale Technical University hit the streets over the lack of social amenities, a situation they say is hampering teaching and learning. A protest which escalated when police fired warning shots to disperse the crowd, leaving 3 students injured. Now, here is a GASAC president for Tatu, Abdul Ganiwu Inusa, demanding urgent government action. He spoke earlier on the Joy News channel.
On the petition we raised, there were some key issues we highlighted on. So we expected management of the university to write in responding to our petition. But what I'm seeing so far, we can't say we are satisfied with what they have written in the resolution letter, because major aspect of our concern has to do with sanitation in the university and the landscaping issue. But I've seen that from the resolution, nothing. And sanitation has our learning, our concern in the environment. So nothing touches that aspect of our petition. So I don't know whether management is yet to say something on that or not. So we, from the student leadership, will have to hold a meeting to also write back to management of the university, indicating our stance that at least if there could be an adjustment of their resolution, then so be that.
Well, let's go down to my colleague Martina to bring his updates. Martina, if you can hear me. Well then, before we go to my colleague Martina, the Northern Regional Police Command has meanwhile confirmed that calm has been restored at the Tamale Technical University following an unlawful demonstration by students on Tuesday. According to a police statement issued, intelligence received around 9 a.m. on Tuesday indicated that approximately 500 students had gathered in front of the university's administration block. The protest quickly escalated, prompting a swift response from law enforcement. Now, let's go live to my colleague Martina, who's up there to bring us updates. Martina, what's the extent of damage to the school property as we speak?
As we speak, the school has said that there's no damage to any of their facilities, and there's no at all. That's what we are learning, that there's no damage to any of their facilities. And I must say that those who were injured too have also been discharged and in their various hostels. The leadership of the student group says that they would keep monitoring them, and if there's a need for a review, they would. But for now, they are doing well. One other issue that has come up is that the leadership say that they would not take the proposals that the school has presented to them, and so they are about entering into a meeting with them.
And this meeting is between the student leadership and the school authorities. This you can confirm?
No, it's between the student leadership themselves, the GRASAC and then the SRC. They are meeting to discuss on what to do with the new proposals that the school has put before them.
But in the interim, they have rejected it. And since that, has the school authority at least responded to the rejection?
I spoke with the Public Affairs Directorate while they were.
Have I lost Martina? Well, we're sorry that we lost Martina. We'll definitely bring you details of that meeting that's happening currently. Now, Priority View Homes is breaking ground on an affordable housing project for cocoa farmers at Asin Gangan in the Asin North District of the Central Region. Under the arrangements, farmers will pay for their houses through a barter system, using part of their cocoa produce to gradually offset the total cost until full payment is done. The Chief Executive Officer of Priority View Homes, Eric Afedu, says the initiative is designed to give farmers a flexible path to home ownership.
We have 2-bedroom and then we have 3-bedroom. You have your bedrooms, you have your toilet in there, you have your kitchen in there, you have your living area, a place that you can call your home. And we think we have to bring this kind of housing project to cocoa farmers. Of course, when you come to Accra, we have affordable housing for only government workers or for salary workers and all that. So then what happens to the cocoa farmer who doesn't take a salary from the bank or from the government? You're also a Ghanaian, you also matter. So we are bringing that one to you to let you know that you play a significant role when it comes to country development. So that is why we have this program for cocoa farmers. It's exclusively for cocoa farmers. If you are not a cocoa farmer, unfortunately, you don't qualify. But so long as you are a cocoa farmer and you wake up in the morning, you go to cocoa farm, and you are able to manage your farm and harvest and earn cocoa beans at the end of the year, you will definitely be happy what we can put out for you.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the chief of the community, Nana Eje Aye, has urged cocoa farmers in the area to take advantage of the project to secure homes for their families.
Priority Homes is a company that invests in real estate. It's a purely commercial business. They are here today to work with farmers to build homes for cocoa farmers. They have very flexible programs for cocoa farmers to meet the payment of the structures. They are going to be doing 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. The beauty about this program is that you are going to be paying with your proceeds, that is the cocoa seeds. So we are encouraging everybody, every cocoa farmer here, to look at this program and be part of it. It's a mortgage system. We all know what a mortgage is. So this is what Priority Homes are bringing to Basofi division under the Afienya-Dodowa-Dawhenya Traditional Council. The benefit of this project is that, one, our young people here will have some work to do. 2, it will encourage farmers to stay put and farm and also own a home. I don't think there's anything better than owning your own home. So these are the few things that will benefit cocoa farmers. And the advice to the farmers is that we should try and work hard, be honest about this project that is coming so that we can expand it to other communities.
Onto some climate-focused stories. A third-generation commercial user of charcoal at one of Accra's biggest eateries has shared a heartwarming story of their willingness to abandon charcoal and migrate to liquefied petroleum gas usage. This is coming at a time where there are rising concerns over health and environmental concerns over the continued use of charcoal and firewood for cooking. Now, for these two sisters, a government commitment to making LPG accessible is all they need to transition regardless of the cost. James Aveji has the rest of the story.
The German Agency for International Cooperation, GIZ, in 2023 revealed in a research that firewood and charcoal contribute at least 39% of source of energy for cooking in Ghana. This means about 100,000 football fields of trees are cleared every year for firewood and charcoal. To find out more, I visit a chopper here in Accra to hear their story. I meet Nanama and her sister Sandra, a third-generation owners of the popular heavy-do chopper.
49 years ago, we started with firewood. That's what we started with. And then we moved from firewood to charcoal. And the reason was firewood produces a lot of heat and then a lot of smoke. So we moved to charcoal. So when we moved to charcoal and then technology also came in and technology was growing, we moved from charcoal to gas.
So why did they switch back to charcoal after finding comfort in LPG?
I think 10 years back we had some gas shortage in Ghana. So we bought 2 bags of charcoal and we used it to cook. So after cooking we realized that the cost of using the charcoal was a bit okay than the gas. So that was when we introduced the use of the gas and the charcoal at the same time. Yes. We have 12.5 kg, which cost us 260 cedis. And with this, it takes us 2 days. So every 2 days, we need to fill it and use.
But you use it for what?
For just warming the food. We don't use it to cook, to just keep the soup warm. And with this, it costs 500 and something, so I'm not that sure. And it takes us for a week just to warm the food. But if we are to use this to cook the pot of cassava, you can do 3 to 4 on an average, depending on how soft or how hard the cassava is.
It has emerged, however, that this is not only posing threats to the environment, but to the human health as well. Speaking at a National Clean Cooking Policy Framework workshop in Accra in March 2025, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority in charge of technical, Dr. Sheila Addo, revealed that the charcoal and firewood usage kills at least 17,000 Ghanaians every year.
The IEA estimates that this figure at 3.7 million annually, with women and children most at risk, people who are usually exposed to health challenges. In Ghana, it is projected that unclean cooking methods claim about 17,000 lives annually, including 2,000 children.
For now, Nanama, on behalf of her sister, has pledged willingness to go back to operate fully on LPG regardless the cost, but on condition that government will revamp the cylinder recirculation model to make access more convenient.
At least you are ready to sacrifice the use of the charcoal and go for the gas if it will give you the full convenience.
Oh, yes, if government should listen to our cry, why not? We would stop the use of charcoal due to the other health hazards it has on us. We'll stop using it and then we'll fall on the gas to produce our food.
The ball is now in government court to take a decisive policy decision to win the hearts of Ghanaians to embrace LPG, to protect the environment against climate change. James Savage's report for Joy News.
Now, for nearly 4 years, baby K. Jila has lived with pain and uncertainty from birth. Born with scoliosis and clubfoot, his dream of walking freely again is now within reach. Businessman Ibrahim Mahama has pledged to cover all medical bills and surgeries until K turns 18, a lifeline that could transform his future. This intervention follows a Joy News report a year ago that first brought K's struggles and the burden on his young parents to light. Carlos Coloni reports.
What do you want to become?
Born nearly 4 years ago, baby K dreams of becoming a doctor, but life has been nothing but pain. Endless hospital visits have drained his young parent, stealing both their savings and the simple joy of watching their child grow like any other. But hope has finally arrived. After Joy News shared his story a year ago, philanthropist Ibrahim Mahama has stepped in to cover all medical bills, including multiple neurosurgical surgeries, giving baby K a chance at life and free mobility. Special aid to Ibrahim Mahama, Rafik Mahama, who visited Focus Orthopedic Hospital in Accra to settle the bills, shared what moved them to act.
So the initial bill they gave us 120,000 cedis. That was in 2023, and they were not able to raise money for the treatment, which is scoliosis. And so today we decided to, on behalf of Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, we decided to come to see our boy to make sure that we settle the bill so that the treatment can start. And we'll take charge of the whole treatment process. And that this is not the only, this is the first stage. And subsequently, about the next 4 years, there will be second surgery as well. So the first one, we decided to take charge of everything, and the subsequent one, we'll make sure that by God's grace, our little boy will have the best of life to live.
A year ago, K's father, Frank Jila, had no grey hair. Today, stress has turned it completely white.
This is news today. Now, the Ashanti region will on Thursday experience a restriction of movement as the final burial rites of the late Asantehema Nana Konadu-Adom III reach its climax. The Asantehema, whose passing has drawn mourning in the Ashanti region or Ashanti Kingdom, will be laid to rest at the Royal Cemetery in Bremen after Thursday's burial service. The Misha Palace has directed that schools and markets be shut after 12 noon to honor the occasion, marking the culmination of a 4-day mourning event. Meanwhile, on the third day of the burial rites, dignitaries, including representatives of political parties, The National House of Chiefs, parliamentarians and members of the diplomatic corps are expected to pay their late respect or their last respect at the Mensah Palace. My colleague Nana Boachi-Yadom is at the palace and joins us with details for day 3.
Nyakeli Tochofia the 7th. Nyakeli Tochofia the 7th.
You're welcome to the Mensah Palace.
Thank you. The warlord of Aflao. Thank you very much.
Oh wow! And today you are displaying your culture beautifully on the Ashanti soil.
Exactly. We are here to man with Ashanti man. We Aflao, we are one people with Ashanti, our Ashantis. Anytime that they are bereaved, they came to invite us to man with them. So that was the purpose that we are here. Also, we are using the broom. Broom is used for, how do I call it? We are using broom for the oneness, unity, and the integrity. Okay, when you remove only one, the broom, it will burn. But if you hold it like this, it will not burn. That was the main reason why we are supporting the Mensah Ashanti man today.
And so from Aflao, you've come with a broom signaling unity. But what do I see all over the, I see cowries.
This is how we do our unity.
Okay.
Everything is inside. That bounded all of us. So that is how we, for the accounts, they use the broom alone, but we will bind it with certain cultural activities. That's how we do it.
And how has it been? How has it been since you touched down, Kumasi, especially Mensah Palace today?
Oh, this is not the first time I'm here anyway. I've been here for several times when they are bereaved. So today we are giving to we Aflao and some paramountcies from all the country, the paramountcy from the Ashanti man as well. Today's culture that I'm seeing here is very unique, very, very authentic and unique. We are very, very grateful to see so many people here today, and we have learned a lot of things. When we go home, we are also going to add it to our hours. That's what that's.
Thank you very much, Togwe. All the way from Aflao, joining us, Mon, the Asante Himana Nakunedu Yadom. You can take leave of us. Thank you, sir, for having us. And so that's the beautiful culture being displayed at the Ashanti, at the Mensah Palace. Oneness, togetherness, not just the people from the Volta region or Aflao, but people from the northern region, the Muslim community, people from Gadangbe are all coming in to join in mourning the Asante Himana Nakunedu Yadom. As I indicated earlier, a number of people are already at the Mensah Palace to join the burial service today, which happens to be the 3rd day. We are all anticipating tomorrow, Thursday, where we'd have the total shutdown of all businesses, schools, churches, markets, everything in the Ashanti region. And that is the D-Day where we'd lead the Asante Hima's body to Bremen. From 12 noon, everybody is expected to make way into his or her homes. Businesses closed, except for the Ghana Water Company, the Electricity Company Limited, the Fire Service, the military and other security agencies, and also other essential service providers as listed or indicated by the Mensah Palace in its release earlier. And so this is what you can see here. Scores of people continue to come into the Mensah Palace. On my right and left, we have hundreds of people who are already gathered here, waiting for His Royal Majesty, the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, to make his way into the grounds where we have the burial service. Let's make our way into the inner perimeter itself and show you what is happening there. The scores of umbrellas, huge ones, small ones, that I always want to reiterate. They come in their numbers, they come in different colors and different shapes and forms. All of them styled uniquely for the chiefs who are coming in to the Mensah Palace today. That is how come we always say that some huge, some small, signaling the paramountcy or the hierarchy or rate at which a king is being placed when he comes into the Ashanti Kingdom. Not forgetting that apart from the National House of Chiefs and its reps, we have various political parties who are expected to come into the Mensah Palace today to join the Asantehene in mourning the Asantehene. We have the MPP and the NDC reps some of them who have come here already and others expected to come. The President of the Republic, John Dramani.
You're watching News Today. Please stay with us for more.
Welcome back to Business here on Joy News Today. My name is Winston Taki, and our to our first business story. As part of measures to provide robust light and heavy-duty vehicles to meet the need of businesses, Triton Motors, authorized dealers of Jack vehicles brands, have unveiled a new range of light to heavy-duty commercial Jack vehicles. Speaking at a media soiree to adore the vehicles, Jihad Hijazi, chief executive of Jack Motors, revealed that the company is willing to offer flexible purchasing agreements with companies and individuals who visit the showroom. Here's more.
The newly unveiled vehicles include light, medium, and heavy-duty commercial models. Triton Motors, the authorized dealer of Jack vehicles in Ghana, says the new range is robust and suitable for all inland and hinterland operations. At the unveiling ceremony, Jihad Hijazi, CEO of Triton Motors, revealed that the vehicles are well suited for all types of businesses.
We have something for everybody. We have something for the distribution companies in Accra and in the other cities. We have vehicles for special use, and obviously behind you or in front of you, you'll see the heavy commercial stuff. So these are for construction and mining operations. So essentially we are catering to everybody in town. And as I said earlier, we do have the specialized vehicles. Okay, so there are vehicles that inculcates crane system on it, water tankers, hydrants, fuel tankers, ambulances, anything and everything. It can be done on a Jack chassis.
He also highlighted the company's flexible payment structure as a key differentiator from competitors.
Our group has been known to be very flexible with payments and facilities to all our customers. The only thing we require is that you qualify for what we offer you. So if you need something that costs so much and your books can cater to it, or a bank can help us to give you a loan, we will look for it. So we are open to giving facilities and soft loans and payment plans to anybody and everybody who is capable of taking care of their obligation.
As part of efforts to expand the reach of Jack vehicles, Triton Motors plans to open additional outlets across the country to enhance accessibility.
So our next step will be to expand our physical network into the main cities of Ghana, and then expand it further to the hinterlands where usually our heavy commercial vehicles will be located.
Located at Atiko Junction off the Kaneshi-Odoko Highway, Triton Motors also offers pickups and a full range of SUVs. In the near future, the company plans to introduce buses as part of its fleet. Management also announced plans to explore the introduction of sustainable vehicles ranging from light to heavy-duty models, cementing Triton Motors' position as one of the leading vehicle dealerships in the country.
Now, away from that, the Association of Ghana Industries is urging calm over the recent depreciation of the Ghana cedi. Chief Executive Officer of the AGI, Sechum Okwaba, says the situation is not alarming when weighed against the local currency's strong performance since the start of the year. Speaking to Joy Business at the 2025 Ghana Industrial Summit and Exhibition, Mr. Okwaba stressed that the cedi has shown remarkable resilience and continues to provide stability for businesses despite short-term pressures.
The summit brought together policymakers, financial institutions, business leaders, and financiers to explore ways of driving Ghana's industrial growth. Chief Executive of the AGI, Sechum Okwaba, said industry players remain confident in the outlook for the currency as broader economic measures take effect.
And I think that largely it's been the oil prices are going up largely because of the cedi, the recent depreciation. Generally speaking, from the beginning of the year, we've had a good run of the city. Good city has done quite well, been stable, and it's been appreciating in value. So the little depreciation we've experienced, it appears that it's a bit normal because around this time people are going to buy Christmas goods and all that. But this is what AG has been saying all the time. When we had appreciation of the city, they were telling us how do we stabilize it. It's not so much the appreciation that was needed, but the stability so that people can plan and predict. And we keep saying that the ultimate goal or the best way to keep the city value stable is to rely more on local production.
Head of Marketing and Corporate Communications at Bank of Africa, Leila Pinto, said the bank's involvement reflects a commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises to scale and succeed.
With Bank of Africa, you know, we are a green conscious bank. We are a green bank. Anything or any activity that involves sustainability, development, and especially in the area of SME, we are happy to help.
That's all for business. My name is Winston Taki. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftaru Nabila Abdullahi. Kumasi Asante Kotoko Communications Director Safo Duku says that the Porcupine Warriors will not underrate their CAF Confederation Cup opponent, Kwara United. The two sides will be meeting at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday, September 21. And Safo Duku believes that the Porcupine Warriors will give off their all to be able to stand a chance of qualifying to the next phase of the competition.
I've heard many people make the erroneous conclusion that Kwara is a foregone conclusion for Kotoko. But I see that to be very suicidal if that should eat into the minds of our boys. But we, as management, and for that matter, the technical team and the playing body are very much aware of the trends in modern day football. In fact, we are very mindful of the fact that in recent years, Kotoko have been eliminated by clubs which have been touted as less fancied, to our surprise. And it's not been once, about 4 times. Talk of Kara, talk of BYT of Liberia, Bejaya, and quite recently, Katiugu of Burkina Faso. So being guided by those terrible experiences, we are not taking things lightly at all. In fact, we are going into this game with all the seriousness that it deserves, because we don't want history, that bad history to repeat itself. So trust me, we are putting in the best of preparation, the best of efforts to ensure that history does not repeat itself.
Just a couple of minutes ago, Ibrahim Fuseni has just finished 6th in the men's 200 meters, failing to make it to the semi-final of the ongoing World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Head on to myjoyonline.com for some more sports stories. We appreciate your time.
Time now for Showbiz. I am Loy Shola Adeyemi. Now, the National Film Dialogue organized by the National Film Authority, NFA, continued on Tuesday with a presentation from Board Chair Ivan Kashiga, who outlined an ambitious roadmap to transform Ghana's film industry into both a cultural and economic powerhouse. He noted that while cinema once held strong public appeal, today's filmmakers face significant barriers. Key among them is limited financing, poor infrastructure, and restricted access. He highlighted Ghana's untapped potential, protecting and also projecting that even capturing just 1% of the population as cinema goers could generate more than 16.5 million Ghana cedis in box office revenue. Now, joining us now via Zoom is the board chair of the National Film Authority, Ivan Kwachika. Thank you for your time on Joy News today. Mr. Kwachika, you have outlined a roadmap to revive Ghana's film industry. Can you walk us through what this roadmap actually entails and then the key pillars driving it?
Well, I think that you've spoken about the current situation that we have. We have very limited screens, mainly based in Accra and Kumasi. We have a decline in public cinema-going culture. We have a rich talent pool, but very limited visibility and profitability. So our strategic vision is to revive Ghana's film industry by transforming film distribution and exhibition into a vibrant, accessible, and profitable ecosystem that inspires cultural pride and economic growth. The target is to have at least 1% of Ghanaian population watching at least 10 Ghanaian films each year. If we have that, it will present us with the opportunity to start reviving the slowed interest in Ghanaian films. The 1% target is because we want to be able to build momentum from a small space to something bigger. So as it grows, like as the interest grows and people start investing more and more into it, it would move from 1 to 2 to 3 to 5. So basically, the idea is just the 1% viewership that we are aiming at is is something that we want, something that can be achievable, and at the same time should be able to kickstart a movement that can rejuvenate the film industry.
Right. Now, we know that financing and infrastructure have been a long stumbling block for filmmakers. So how is the NFA working to create sustainable solutions so that stories can move from script to screen without these upholds?
Well, so financing is an issue that has always been talked about. But then since we came in, we decided to look at it from a different perspective. If you put money into film and you do not create the avenue for the films to be seen so that people can have return on investment, then it will be like you are putting money into pouring water into a basket. We need to have a situation where the investments that will be made into the film industry can be recouped and replowed back into the industry. That is why our strategic focus is creating access to Ghanaian films, creating the environment for films to be seen by, as I said, at least 1% of the population. If each film is made and each film can attract at least 1% of Ghanaian population, the producers or the financiers of these films would now start seeing the value in putting money into the film. And then that brings us back to the issue of funding. Because if the funding people or the agencies can see that there is some money to be made, they can make something from what they have invested. Obviously, they will look for more money to put into the industry.
Okay, well, we wish the NFA all the best. And that was Ivan. Thank you so much for joining us. Over to you, Akosia Adeti. Akosia.
Thank you so much, Shola. We definitely believe that you bring back that conversation, a proper sit down with Ivan. But thank you for watching. The News Marketplace is up next with Darryl.